talk to us about the visit you made to Ekatma Dham in Madhya Pradesh, Omkareshwar. Thank you.
Yeah, I will do that. Let's finish questions. Yeah, Satish ji, go ahead if you had a question.
It's the same thing, like what Vaidya ji had, the same thing.
Okay.
I just wanted to know about your visit.
From the start to the end, I was watching it.
And did you also visit Rishikesh Ashram during the 23rd Samadhi?
Right. Okay. I will tell you everything. No, I did not go there. Don't go to Rishikesh. So anyway, so this trip was postponed by a few days, right? September 18th was the Shankaracharya's Murthy inauguration, and postponed by 3 days or something. So we were there on 20th, and at the airport, this Indore airport, it's called Ahilyabai Holkar Airport. And look at that. There, right there, you can get a sense of the state, the sense of you can get some sense, right? And Ahilyabai Holkar, if you know her, and her husband passed away, and she decided, I'm going to take charge. So on this one side, she's governing, and she's fighting wars against the Mughals, and we were constant problem in India for how many years. And on the other side, she's building temples. I think Kashi Vishwanath was built by Ahilyabai Holkar. Okay, if I remember right, correct? Yeah. So some of you are shaking your heads. And so
that line.
There
are a series of temples she revived.
Yeah. So many temples. And so anyway, that is the name of this airport. And you come into the airport, they have Ahilyabai Holkar's one kind of old that style, that particular this thing there, the setup they have there, okay, a mural they have with Ahilyabai, etc. I took a picture of that. I'll send it to you. And then you come inside. Before the exit and all, they converted the whole place into, they're having a music concert. This Hindustani classical music, 3 or 4 people, they're singing and playing bhajans and all. And just for all of us. And so many sannyasis are there. Some 30, 40 sannyasis are there. And there is a welcome booth, and they're telling you where to go and which bus you have to go and things like that. And so everything, volunteers, all done by volunteers. Are you employees of the government? No, we're all volunteers coming from here and from Bhopal and many other places. They've come from ashrams and all. They've come, and so they are volunteers for us. And they took us to the hotel, but it was 1 o'clock in the morning when I reached there. Then the hotel was all fine, comfortable. And then next morning, they asked us to come to the lobby at 5:30 in the morning. 5:30. So we had a short sleep, and then we came there, and bus and all was there, all set up, and everybody was taken by bus to Omkareshwar, which is a good 2.5 hours.
75, 80 kilometers.
Yeah. So in Madhya Pradesh, this kilometer in Madhya Pradesh and kilometer in Mumbai or Delhi is different, And so in Madhya Pradesh, things slow down somehow. So roads are not good and things like that. And so it takes 2.5 hours, even though it's only about 80 kilometers or so. And so we went there, and you could see Adi Shankaracharya's Murthy from far away as we came. A lot of mountains. It's going through mountain ranges. My goodness, it was amazing. It was. Went through mountain ranges where nothing is visible. All valleys and mountains were there. And then it was a very scenic ride. We went there, and security was there, and nobody's allowed inside. And all our buses, we had badges and all, so we all went in. We went right below that Murthy. They stopped, and we got down there. 10 o'clock, 10:30 program starts, but we were there at 8:30, 8:45 itself. We were there. And so we had a lot of time. So we looked around there, and And then all those people were practicing. The people who were going to all the cultural program participants were practicing various things. And then the homas were going on. So I pretty much went there, and they didn't allow me also. Everybody, so then somehow I ended up there. And then I was sitting behind, and I was, any mantras that I knew, I was also chanting along with them. So the homas, Shringeri uh, Matha, they had all come from Shringeri Matha. And so all properly done samskaras, all the homas were done. And the entire gang had come from Shringeri. I saw all of them properly doing. Then our chief minister came, and he spoke a few words, and other people spoke, some sannyasis spoke. And then it was very hot. It was hot, and there was not a 1 inch shade was there. It was all open. That's it. And I was trying to find a place to just, because I covered my head with the kerchief, and then I was trying to find a place. And one Swami said I fainted when we were having lunch. She told me. And so, anyway, that was just by the way. But then we went, had this one lunch. So the program was all the tribal dances were there, tribal programs were there, all their presentations were there, and then classical music. Some singers, I couldn't hear, the audio was not good. Somebody, Bombay Sisters or Priya Sisters or somebody were there, and even classical music.
Mambalam sisters were there.
Yeah?
Mambalam sisters.
Mamalam Sisters were there.
Yes.
See, the audio was not clear for me. It was far away also. I couldn't hear properly. So Mamalam Sisters were there, and Bharatanatyam dances were there. Many of you saw it on live also. And then on top, the acharyas went on top. And then, so top means what? I'll show you. I wanted to show a slideshow, ideally. But I will send you some pictures later. So Adi Shankaracharya's Murti is 108 feet. But that 108 feet Murti also is on top of some 100-foot, we call that?
Platform.
Podium. Platform, correct, platform. So there is an elevator that took them up and all. They did all the puja, samskaras were done. And our chief minister came in just a dhoti in angavastram and red color angavastram and dhoti, and he was with all these malas and all. It was so nice to see him. And he came towards through the Bhiksha area, and then he did namaskar to all sannyasis. He went around, all sannyasis were having Bhiksha. He went all to everybody and did namaskar. So you could see how, and if you look at the chief minister's history, and he has transformed the state quite a bit over the last, this is the fourth term that he's in, fourth term. And so he is really, Madhya Pradesh was known to be a richest poor state. Means richest in terms of resources, but poorest state. People are just poor. That's it. And so he's been slowly transforming that state. And
Bimaru state.
Bimaru.
Bimaru state.
Yeah, Bimaru state, exactly. So he did all that, and all the food was all very sattvic. And it's right next to this, our Omkareshwar. Shiva is there, no? So Shiva is facing that side. Shankaracharya is facing this side. Very interesting it is. And of course, Omkareshwar, why the place was chosen is because that's where Shankaracharya had gone in search of a guru when he was 10 years old, 8, 9, 10 years old. And then there is where he found Govinda, Bhagavad-pada. And so that is the significance of Omkareshwar. And they said that the way that particular posture of Shankaracharya, now that he has studied everything, he's written Bhashyams and all, he's ready to go, ready to go all over the country, right, to teach this. And so that's the posture that he's in. He's walking, right, with a kamandalu. And really well done. I mean, they've mentioned the names of the artists and things like that. They'd given two nice booklets, very colorful booklets they had given. And I mean, I looked at it, I gave it to some other media people. It's really a media handbook. The media people will get a press kit. They can get something called press kit. Press kit was good. And the entire history of Advaita Vedanta and how the role played by all the samskaras, acharyas, ashramas in the country. So they had thought it out, well thought out. And statements by various swamis from various ashrams were all there. And
The 108-foot Rudrakshamala by Sringeri.
Underneath, right?
No. It's presented by Shringeri Mata, 108 beads of Rudrakshi. Big one.
Big one.
Yeah.
256 I heard. 256 beads and it is 108 feet high.
Or 256 beads, huh?
Yeah.
Oh,
big size beads.
So all arrangements were done well, and all bus arrangement. The only people who were, if you look at the place, only a few people were there. Means only 1,000 sannyasis were there. And some people like me in white shirt and all were there. But that's it. Nobody else was there. Only sannyasis were invited. I found that to be interesting.
So general public not allowed.
Correct. Fully cordoned off. Security cordoned off. General public, maybe they would have had other programs. After we left, maybe next day they would have had some program. They can have programs anytime, right? So maybe this one was just reserved for us. It seemed like that to me. And maybe some other VIPs will be. No VIP was there here. No big, Infosys, this, that, Reliance, nobody came. Ambani and all, no, nothing like that. Only sannyasis were. I was very touched by that. And so it is not very crowded and things like that. It was all fine. And then all sannyasis were taken and escorted. And because all over India, sannyasis from all over India, Tamil Nadu, big contingent had come. Okay. And all paid for by the MP government. Okay. And so the government spent a lot of money on this. So Advaita Research Center and all they say. So we have to see. Because the place does not even have a restroom. Okay, does not even have a restroom. So it has to develop a lot. The infrastructure is not there at all. Even to go to the places, you have to climb. And the buses, it's on a mountain. And so it still has to develop. And from an infrastructure perspective. And so all that is fine.
They're constructing some museum and all that.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, Guruji, this temple is not on the Mandata Parvata. It's on the opposite side, is it?
Correct. It's on opposite side.
Okay.
So Shiva is here and then Shankara is. Shiva is there. Shiva is here, looking this way. Shankara is looking this way.
Okay. Because that is Amaleshwar. This is Amaleshwar side.
Amaleshwar. Correct. You're right. So this Swami, I said this in the last this thing. Swami Prakashananda ji. How many of you remember Swami Prakashananda ji?
Guru Purnima.
Yeah, Prakashananda. He spoke to us about 3 months ago, right? And so he came. He came along with 35 people to Omkareshwar to write to Shankaracharya's this Murti right there. They set up camp there 10 days before the program. 10 days before to chant, to do Parayana, Bhashya Parayana. It's called Bhashya Parayana because Shankaracharya has written Bhashya. That is his main work. of Bhagavad Gita and of Upanishads and Brahma Sutra. Entire Bhashya for 10 days, 12 hours a day. 12 hours a day. Yeah. And then 4 days before you saw the floods and all, they had to vacate that, and then they have to change, they have to go to some other place to continue the Parayan. Okay? So they did all that. 35 people came. So there's a group of people who have been part of, and they do this periodically. Periodically they do it. Every year they do it at least once. This time they did it here. So that was I met Swami Prakashananda ji there, and he was, remember he said Narmada, banks of Narmada and all. That is where he, after college, he went there, right?
Yeah.
That is the banks of Narmada only. Right on the Narmada is right there. Narmada Devi is right there. You look down, there she is. And he showed me, that is Ramananda Ashram. That is where he was. Babaji told me.
It's very deep, I believe, that place. The Narmada is almost 80-90 feet depth.
Oh, in that area, is it?
Yeah.
You could see that one bridge that was where people used to walk on, and it was submerged by the floods few days ago. So they had put lot of sand and lot of this small concrete stones, because it was all full of slush that becomes slush. So anyway, that was that day, and very, very. So we need to see how they are developing it. It's going to, now is the one real work starts now to make it as a prominent center in India of Advaita Vedanta. Prominent center. They have to keep having programs. They have to invite acharyas. They have to get advice from Advaita acharyas. What kind of research? All this they have to figure out. So they must have the right advisors, I'm sure. So Swami Paramatmananda ji of Hindu Dharma Acharya Sabha, right? So they were all called out. And the next day, I wanted to go to Ujjain. So Ujjain was the plan. And so what happened this day, I developed a migraine. By the time, by 2 o'clock, sitting in the sun, not a amount of shade. And then headache and all that was there. And somehow I managed. And I thought I'll go home and rest. Go to the hotel, rest, and tomorrow next morning I can go to Ujjain. So I planned it out. I called everybody out. Then Mahakaleshwar temple, I got there's a pujari who I spoke to, and young man, and he asked me to come, etc. There, 4 o'clock in the morning, Bhasma Arati. They have something called Bhasma Arati. Yeah. And so I was thinking maybe I should go to the Bhasma Arati also. For which I had to leave the hotel at 1 in the morning. Okay, fine, rent a car and just go there. And all that I had planned. Then, so I thought at least let's go to the hotel and rest at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. But then, this bus, the bus took off without me. 21 of us came. And I was waiting, 5:45 we were supposed to leave. So I waited, and then they said, the guy, no, we are already in the hotel. Oh, I see. Okay. And then I tried to find a thing back, and buses were going, but somehow by the time I left that Omkareshwar, it was 7 o'clock, 7:15 in the evening. And then by the time I reached the hotel, it was 11 o'clock, 11 or something in the night. And then I had some food and all. And 4 o'clock, Bhasma Arati, I was not prepared for. Then they tell me it will take me 3 hours one way. My flight is at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And so 3 o'clock in the afternoon means if I have to be at the airport at 1 o'clock or 1:30 also, then what? Then by I have to leave, it's going to be very tight, very tight. I thought I'll at least go to Ujjain and just put my foot in Ujjain and come. That itself is punyam. I don't have to see anybody. Mahakaleshwar will there is there everywhere. I can say I went to Ujjain, but even that couldn't happen that day. That's how it was. Ujjain is that kind of a place. Punyakshetra. All the Omkareshwara, Punyakshetra. And you look at the history of Madhya, all places are there, every place. And then I met somebody in the bus, and he's a documentary filmmaker. And he had quit everything. Younger man, but he quit everything and is making documentaries. And he's telling me history of all these temples. And one temple, Somnath, so many times it was attacked. 10 times or 11 times. So many times attacked. And disfigured, damaged, stolen. And then he tells me another temple in Madhya Pradesh, the eastern part of Madhya Pradesh. He mentioned a name, I forget it. He said that temple also was like that. And it is built in such a way that it withstood all these attacks. And he's writing a documentary on that. And then he did a documentary on this Dwaraka, undersea Dwaraka, right? And then undersea Dwaraka, but then he is afraid of water and all. He said, without seeing Dwaraka, how can I write about Dwaraka? But I can't see Dwaraka because I'm afraid of water, because you have to go underneath to see the sea.
Hydrophobia.
Then his friend is a scuba diver in that area, in that Kutch area, scuba diver, and he's a consultant also. He said, you come. And then come and what? Just come today afternoon at 3 o'clock. Just be ready. I'll pick you up. He said, pick you up and do what? No, don't worry about all that. I'll take care of. Then he was fixed all this gear and all that. Then just go down. So, but before that, just float on the water and everything. And it seems he did all that. And then he went down underwater that day. And then he writes a video, which has some 1 million plus hits. How to overcome fear. That was his thing. He's telling me about all that. And then so very interesting people are there who commit themselves to something, right? Nice to see all these people. There things, everything they give up just for this one life passion. Right? So I met such people there, and he sent me the videos and all. I told him, after my classes, I will see your videos. Where is the time to see all the videos? So I sent him a message. And so I think, going to Madhya Pradesh, somebody like me in the current situation, I generally don't go out anywhere. So I think it's a big blessing. And Madhya Pradesh, very unfortunate that we haven't heard about it. They don't come in the news for all the amount of work this chief minister is doing. When I read about his work, I was so impressed. And in fact, they sent me a feedback form. Very interesting things are happening. Government is sending us a feedback form saying, how was the stay? How was this guy who received you at the airport? How was the reception? How was the guy who called Krishna Mohan? Was his coordination all right? And any surprises that you saw? Anything you'd like to share? Anything did not work the way you wanted? This and that. They asked.
Definitely, he's not getting a next chance.
So I wrote a note. Do you want to write something to the chief minister? They had a special thing. So I wrote him about his work over the last 15, 20 years. And we didn't know about it. And I pray that you continue to lead the state and maybe even lead the country. Like that I had written down. So
there is another place, Guruji, it's called Maheshwar. Next time you must visit that place. It's Ahalya Bai's entire palace is there and beautiful temples. It's on the other side of the Narmada, northern side, about 100 kilometers from Omkareshwar.
Okay, Maheshwar, correct.
Beautiful place.
I see.
The palace has been converted to a hotel, right, Satishji?
No. It is still her palace, and every day there is a puja happening in that. Last year we went doing the Narmada Yatra, visiting entire circuit of Narmada.
She instigated all the ladies to join in the weaving and created a lot of jobs for the ladies, asking them not to be idle at home. And that weaving center is still there.
At Maheshwara.
Maheshwar, her Pratima is there, and temple, and her Ishtalinga is Shiva. So they every day they do the puja there.
Very good, very good.
Beautiful serial and Sony TV on Ahilya Bai. Very beautiful. It's been going on for more than 2 years. Ahilya Bai Holkar, there's a beautiful serial going on in Sony TV for the past 2 years.
Oh,
depicting her entire life and how she struggles, and even to get girls to study, girls for widow remarriage, a lot of things she did.
Yeah, exactly. She did all that. Definitely, it's at a time. She's a female at a time when she's doing all these things. Maybe only she could have done. Maybe men could not have done it, and you needed a woman to do the yeah. So what going against the tide, all these things. Excellent. So anyway, that's how it was, and many other swamis were there. Some Ashavidya swamis were there, and at the same time there was a conference going on. Our Swamiji Samadhi Aradhana was going on in Rishikesh, and so some people couldn't come here because of that. Some people after this program they went to Rishikesh. Okay, that night itself they traveled to Rishikesh. And next morning I was supposed to present at that Aradhana in Rishikesh. See, we are having these meetings these days, past one and a half years. Our Ashavidya sannyasis, they meet every quarter. And we have on a Zoom meeting, we are doing these things. And so when our Aradhana comes, the meeting happens at the Rishikesh itself. And so I was supposed to present. There was an agenda item that I had proposed, and they invited me to talk. And so I did that from the hotel itself, hotel room. I was on Zoom. It was made available, and the quality and all was excellent. So the topic there was, they proposed to every time what they do is they invite topics for discussion. And so I proposed the idea that, in Tamil Nadu, the political climate is very poor. It is anti-Hindu, literally anti-Hindu. And you've got heads of the state making statements like Hinduism must be eradicated. Sanatana Dharma must be eradicated. Can you imagine Joe Biden saying Christianity must be eradicated, right? That's the equivalent of the statement here made by our Chief Minister's son and other people. So all this has been going on for a while, demolishing temples and then harassing priests in temples like Chidambaram, big temple, etc. All this. So I had proposed, this is what's going on in Tamil Nadu. Acharyas must step in. Is there a way this is possible? Can we discuss this? That is what I had proposed. And Sakshat Kritanandaji accepted, I think, and so it was part of the agenda. And so they asked me to present the problem. And I presented it for very briefly, just 3-4 minutes I presented, because everybody should know about it already. And I said, I would like to hear the Acharyas talk about it. What does the Acharyas feel? They're all senior sannyasis. Okay. And then the next half an hour, sannyasis were voicing their opinions on this. And I was pleasantly surprised when most of the sannyasis said that we have to speak up. We have to speak up. That is what this is the number one institute of Advaita Vedanta, okay, in all over the world. Okay. Chinmaya Mission is also teaching, but they are nowhere near us when it comes to Shankara Bhashyam and Ashtadhyayi, Panini and all, they can't match. And so These acharyas, okay, very small institution, just a few hundred sannyasis, right? And they said, they all came to the microphone. They said, we have to step up. Then it went round like this, right? Everybody spoke. Some sannyasis came and said, no, no, no. One or two sannyasis came and said, no, no, no. This is getting into politics and this will go this way, that way. And then we will get into politics. You will be called to do this. You will be called to this, that. Like that, two people said. Okay, fine. That's how it is. And finally, Sakshat Ji took the microphone and said, you know, we are living, our life is in this world only. We are not living like somehow in an isolated world, and we're all part of the same world. And so I think we should respond. Responding is the right thing to do. So we'll find a way to do that. And then they at that time the convener had proposed that Swami Brahmavidananda and myself, they wanted both of us to work together to draft a letter. So I've not seen the minutes yet, but if it is there in the minutes, then I will be involved in drafting that letter. So if that happens, I think it's a big milestone from a Hindu society perspective, right? And so when my turn came, I concluded the discussion. I said, you know what, guys? Yeah, this all. I don't want the acharyas to think that you have to do something very different. Something you have to quit teaching Vedanta. You have to go to the streets and you have to be on the phone all the time. No, not like that. You just have to issue a statement. There are leaders, Hindu leaders, that are working hard they're working hard already. So T.R. Ramesh is working on temples. There is all this Kolahala Srinivas and Karthik Gopinath and Maridas. They all went to jail. Maridas was jailed just because he spoke the truth on TV. But they couldn't touch him. He was in jail for some 2 weeks or something, 3 weeks, and he came out. Karthik Gopinath was jailed by the same government. I told them all these examples. I said, they are doing the work. So all you have to do is issue the statement, and your statement will be taken forward by the rest. They need our blessings. They need your blessings. These are the acharyas. Dasharatha had the blessings of Vashishta. I said this to the acharyas, believe it or not. Dasharatha had the blessings of Vashishta. Okay. Arjuna had the blessing of Krishna. Krishna said, yeah, you are welcome to study Vedanta, but you have to go and fight now. Okay? I'm telling this to all acharyas, okay? I said this. This is what it is. They want you to just say, we are behind you. You are doing the right thing. Correct? That's all you have to say. This is what I told the acharyas. And it was well received, I think. It was very well received. And I told them, I gave some examples, some very harsh examples I gave. I said, one Arsha Vidya center in one of the cities in our India, it is now not being used properly because it's all being, the community is becoming more and more Muslim. The devotees are stopping, they're not coming there. How are the acharyas going to respond to that? Our own center, okay? So we have to be. So I said, acharyas, I think it's not difficult at all. And then the topic came up about the media will call, television crews will come. So they mentioned one or two Swamijis spoke also, they came. And I told them, look, we will get ourselves trained if we don't know how to respond to certain questions. Puja Swami was very good at this, okay? Okay, we may not be good at it, okay? Accept it. We will get ourselves trained. We will prepare an FAQ, okay? I can help and others are there to help. What does it matter? We'll prepare an FAQ. Some tough questions about these things. Like, for example, oh, you're all sannyasis. Why are you getting involved in politics? Very popular question. Journalists will ask all these questions. And then Swamiji was asked the same question. You know what Swamiji said? Look, if Brahmanas and Kshatriyas give up their responsibilities, sannyasis have to step in. This is what he said. Gupchip ho gaya, wo journalist. We have to step in. We are not getting into politics. We are not interested in politics. If you were interested, we would have come long ago. Okay. And so we are not interested. But talking about politics is not the same as being political. I mentioned some of these things in the meeting. So that there's some confusion around this, we have to dispel that confusion. And I think Sakshat ji took it very well. I'm so happy. All the acharyas, many acharyas, when I was speaking, they were really validating what I said. They were actually shaking their head. I was very happy because we know they're all seniors. They know so much. And I'm nobody in front of them. And so I was very happy that they acknowledge my agenda item, and we will see what comes. I'll update you. Okay.
Jaykumarji, besides Arshavidya Acharyas, what about the Hindu Dharma Acharya Sabha, which is led by Swami Paramatmanandani ji now? Will they
Right.
be issuing a statement?
Right. So Vaidya is asking about this organization called Hindu Dharma Acharya Sabha, right? And there is an organization that Swami had started. About 200 plus Mathadipatis and ashrams are part of this organization, right? And so the thing is this, when I spoke to, this is the reality. This is the Vaidya, this is the reality. Reality is I don't want to mention names. They are not receptive to suggestions. That's the reality. And so capability they have, but they are not receptive to suggestion. And that sometimes that Swami is there in these kinds of meetings. But this time he was not there. So now if that person is not there, we can't speak on behalf of them. And so we decided to take matters in our own hands. What can Arshavidya Acharyas do? That is the topic. I wrote a big letter, by the way. This whole letter I wrote about 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, I wrote a big letter with a lot of references to Acharya Sabha. I wrote. My agenda item was this big letter. I wrote to Acharya Sabha saying so many things are happening, so many references. Dikshitars, a micro community, United Nations, United Security Council recognized, UNESCO recognized community. They are being harassed in Tamil Nadu, like these big references and all I gave. And I said, can the Acharya Sabha, can the silence of the Acharya Sabha be reversed? That is how I proposed. To Paramatmanandaji, I said this. And so anyway, that entire letter, this Swamiji had published it to everybody, saying this is the agenda item. My entire letter they published. And so I think the acharyas are receptive. Vaidya, that's all I can say. Very receptive, and it takes some time for the ice to break, I think. And I was not pushy or anything. I just said this is what is happening. And guess what? Swamis came up. One Swamiji came and said, you know what? T.R. Ramesh's wife is my student, and I know a lot about what he's doing. Yes, we need to support T.R. Ramesh. We should give our spiritual support. She came and said that, Satyavratanandaji. So I was very happy about it. And other senior Swamis spoke up and said, no, we can't just be silent. So this is Mahakaleshwar working, correct? Working. Without going to Mahakaleshwar, he's been doing my job. Means he's helping us. To us, he's doing the job. Yeah, because I'm telling you, friends, many acharyas are keeping quiet. Many ashramas are just keeping mum because of fear of something. Because fear that the ashram might be taken over. Tamil Nadu especially, it's just so... See, suppose I say something and if my video goes viral, you know what will happen? They'll come after me. So that fear itself prevents people from talking. Dushyant Sridhar spoke up. Good. I'm very happy he did that because he has a following of millions of people. Okay. So they should speak up. and they have nothing to fear. Nobody can touch Dushyant Sridhar. Nobody can touch. He has become a phenomenon, right? And so he should speak up. He did speak up. So I'm very happy about it. Yeah, Srividya, go ahead.
So this is about last Sunday's Sanatana Dharma, the conference that we had in Chennai. So one of the sponsors for us was us, myself and my husband. We were there throughout. So it is not entirely right that the Swamijis of Tamil Nadu are not speaking up, because it was open. The chief guest was the Suryanar Koil Adinam, who was earlier thought to be with the opposite side, but now no. Main problem we thought, and we were also told that land grabbing has been going on for so many years. To get them back to the Adinams, they'll have to somewhere be quiet and retrieve all these things and then speak up. But I think the word has gone across. And this Sanatana Dharma conference also, there were 16 speakers. The last one, not the last one. The prior one was the Sridhar also. It turned out to be somewhat political, because political speakers were also there. Yes, but the continuation of support that comes from the backward classes and the minorities is more than the Hindus.
Than the?
Hindus.
Oh, than the Hindus. Okay.
They are actually defending it more. No, you should not speak about that. Every religion has dharma in it, and you can't speak about it.
Good. So I think Srividya's point is well taken. The point is this. Some acharyas have spoken up. Okay, some acharyas have spoken up. At least privately, many have spoken. But publicly, some acharyas have spoken. I've not seen, but I've heard about some acharyas that have spoken about it. One Adinam, our not Pudukkottai Adinam, but I forget the Adinam now. But previously, our Omkaranandaji used to speak up. He would have definitely spoken up. And so some acharyas have spoken. And but it's subdued voices, like Srividya said, because we have too many problems to work on. And you have to decide which problem is the most important problem. And land grabbing. This is constant. I went to the registrar's office for something, and there are people sitting and crying like, yeah, that's how bad it is. Means extracting a pound of flesh for the land you own, okay? And some people can't pay all these bribes, and so that's how bad Tamil Nadu is. Very bad.
Great cards are there. The maximum corruption is in the registrar department.
Correct. So there are compulsions. So yeah, so I'm happy to hear some of those comments from Srividya. So I did not mean to say that nobody is speaking up, right? There are people speaking up. But we need to see more. We need to see more official statements. Okay, more official statements from established communities, and some sannyasis from the north have spoken up, right? Have spoken up, and very interesting things I've seen. And one person was interviewed in Republic TV also. Very senior acharya. He can't even see properties. Eyesight itself is not there. And some of you must have seen that interview. And
very nicely conducted Bhagavatam and all. He said, I don't want to see eyesight, outside world. He had said that earlier. When I operate, he said, I don't want. I can see him always in my heart.
Right.
Greatly respected in the north. Greatly respected in the north.
Yeah, Vishnu, his name is, yeah, it'll come to me later.
Ramabhadracharya.
Ramabhadra, Ramabhadracharya, correct,
Yeah.
correct, Ramabhadracharya. And very nice, so nice, well spoken. And he said, no, this is not right. And nobody can speak like this. And he came on Republic. So, like that, media also should cover such people and bring it forward. And so, we'll see what happens. So,
Don't
any
you
other?
think BJP is going to take this issue widely to each and every village?
Yeah, so we'll see. Well, I mean, Annamalai has a lot of things in his hands. So, he's doing the right things, and he is gathering a lot of support from all places. And he has,
That's why ADMK has got jittery and issuing statements against him and breaking the alliance and all.
that shows that they're BJP is becoming a bigger force in Tamil Nadu, which is good.
I
Okay.
see this politician's statement kindled some sense about Sanatana Dharma in Hindus. This is an awakening call to be aware of. We have taken everything granted and we were going along with the flow, however, we were carried. It's an awakening call to all of us Hindus.
How is the public
Without-
reacting there, Jaykumarji?
Yeah, without even inviting everyone in the public, there were 1,000 people there in the auditorium.
So they are responding like,
Yeah.
okay.
See, public means there are 2 or 3 kinds of public. Okay. There is one kind of public, the so-called Hindu activists and people who are constantly upset by these kinds of things. They are, of course, their response we know already. Then there is all these Dalits and so forth who the scheduled castes and so forth that they call here, and some of them have been purchased by the left, and they are working against. But the majority, they're all supportive of Hindu causes, Hindu dharma, etc. Temples, majority are supportive. So, but then there is the other intelligentsia. Fortunately, intelligentsia means people of our own kith and kin. Okay, our own, how do you call it? Our own family members, let's put it that way.
They're
People
not active. They want to talk, but they won't act.
So fortunately, thanks to social media, thanks to Republic TV, they only read all these big ones. They don't lower themselves. All upper class, big class. They do big things, and so they read only the Hindu newspaper. I had to tell them periodically, Mama, there are some things going on in the world, Then so anyway, they have, thanks to Republic and all these things, they are also now beginning to talk. Yeah, BJP, all they say. Normally, so yeah, so we have to keep pushing them. There is something
They
called
won't
vote.
show their they
Yeah,
won't
that's
show
what
their
I'm
faces
thinking.
in
If it-
public.
Huh?
They won't show their faces in
Yeah,
public
even if they don't show, if they
because of
vote
identification
properly,
crisis.
if they vote properly, it will speak up very loud.
Last time I organized a trip for them to go to the polling booth. I said, guys, you have to vote. Do you have your voting card? No, it's in Bhopal, it's in Kerala, something like that. Okay, let's get it. Let's get it to Coimbatore. Okay, what are the things? I invited somebody to come to this place, come here and do a camp.
I used
And
to arrange camps here in the to when the time comes, they used to include people to make people at least get the names in the voting list.
yeah. So we have to do all these things. And so that part is, so there is always some excuse people give, that hopefully all this will change some of that. So we'll keep pushing.
Last election, I arranged the people to come to home and also get voted. For that also, I talked to that people and they came home to take votes for people who cannot travel to the voting booths.
Correct. So they do a very good job of that. So they did last time, they did a good job of visiting all homes, especially the senior citizen homes and all. They know they can't come, so they do that. And volunteers, teachers are volunteers in this thing. School teachers, they conduct this in schools. So we'll see. This time, I don't know what will happen, but hopefully something. Tamil Nadu is a very different case, so we have to put some extra effort, some creative effort.
The local Anganwadi lady usually comes to me only for anything connected with the voting and the voting card and all. She always comes to me for help.
I see.
Distributing the voting slips and all, no? She used to come, whether that person is there, this person is there. She used to come always to my home only. Because I was the first person to get involved in and enroll myself here by transferring to Palakkad and all. From that time itself, she comes to me.
I see. Okay. Very good.
Thank you, Jaykumarji, for the
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Jaykumarji,
update.
for whatever you're doing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mohni.
Thank you.
You keep doing it. Thank you.
Thank you, Jaykumarji.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Yeah.
Anvantaraye Amrita Kalasha Hastaya Sarvamaya Vinashanaya Trilokyanathaya Shri Mahavishnave Namaha. Thank you.
ధన్యవాదాలు
Thank you,
Guruji.
Guruji.
Take care. Hari Om.
Thank you.
Hari Om.
Very